Welcome to our exploration of one of the Buddha's most impactful teachings, the notion that your mind can serve as your greatest opponent. This idea may initially sound severe, yet the Buddha's profound wisdom illuminates how our minds can both create suffering and act as a catalyst for liberation. In this discussion, we will unpack the significance behind this teaching, examine the ways our minds can hinder us, and consider how we can transform them into our most valuable assets. Let's begin. First, we must acknowledge the profound impact of the mind on our everyday lives. Our thoughts shape our perceptions, emotions, and actions, influencing every encounter and challenge we face. It's essential to recognize that each experience is refracted through our mental filters. If our minds are clouded with negativity, confusion, or distress, it follows that our experiences will mirror these states. The Buddha asserted that the mind is a dual source of our happiness and our suffering. When we allow our thoughts to dictate our actions and react impulsively to transient emotions and ideas, we can find ourselves at odds with our own well-being. Negative thoughts, insecurities, and unhealthy attachments can give rise to internal turmoil and emotional hardship. The Buddha observed that countless individuals become ensnared by their mental habits, often unaware of how much needless suffering they perpetuate. The restless nature of the mind can be likened to a wild monkey. It jumps from one thought to another, leaving us feeling scattered and unfocused. This incessant churning makes the mind difficult to manage. The Buddha understood this aspect of the mind well and used the metaphor of a turbulent ocean to illustrate its unpredictable nature. When we neglect to cultivate inner calm, we distance ourselves from the present moment, preoccupied instead with past regrets or future anxieties, effectively missing the peace and beauty available to us here and now. Our thoughts can entrap us in repetitive negative cycles, fixating on past mistakes or worrying about potential future events. This mental disarray breeds feelings of disconnection and dissatisfaction. Central to the Buddha's teachings is the concept of attachment. Humans naturally gravitate towards people, possessions, and experiences perceived to bring happiness. As desires intensify, so too do our entanglements in attachment, which the Buddha identified as the foremost source of suffering. The Buddha's exploration of craving, or tana, reveals that our pursuit of things we cannot fully control, such as wealth, love, status, or transient pleasures, perpetuates a cycle of dissatisfaction. When we cling to external circumstances for happiness, we set ourselves up for inevitable pain. As nothing is permanent, people evolve, belongings decay, and situations change. By tying our happiness to impermanent entities, we inevitably invite disappointment. Buddhist teachings advocate for the release of attachment, not because caring is misguided, but rather because true peace emanates from within, independent of external validation. Additionally, our minds can become adversarial through the illusion of control. We often strive to regulate our thoughts, emotions, surroundings, and even the actions of those around us, mistakenly believing that control will bring tranquility. Ironically, this very desire for control can amplify chaos. The Buddha articulated that clinging to control fosters frustration. The more we resist life as it unfolds, the more suffering we generate. Real liberation arises when we surrender the need for control and learn to adapt to life's natural flow. By relinquishing our grasp on control, we create a mental space that nurtures peace and clarity. So, how can we mitigate the mind's propensity to lead us toward suffering? The Buddha introduced the practice of mindfulness as a remedy. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and observing our thoughts without attachment. Engaging in mindfulness allows us to recognize our internal narratives, giving us the opportunity to discern when our thoughts may be leading us astray. Instead of being swept away by every transitory emotion or thought, we can approach them with compassion and insight. Meditation serves as a powerful tool for cultivating mindfulness. By dedicating time each day to meditate, we can develop a more focused and harmonious mind, silencing the incessant mental chatter and fostering an internal oasis of peace. Mindfulness extends beyond stillness. It is about embedding that awareness into our daily activities. Whether we are eating, walking, or simply reflecting, mindfulness encourages us to engage with the present rather than react impulsively. Through this practice, we can liberate ourselves from the mind's constraints and experience life authentically. The Buddha did not leave us with only mindfulness. He also offered the Noble Eightfold Path as a comprehensive framework for cognitive transformation and liberation from suffering. This path includes 8 interrelated rules: right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. By following this path, we gradually train our minds to function with clarity, wisdom, and compassion. Ultimately, the Buddha's message about the mind as our most formidable adversary serves to highlight the influence it has on our experiences. When our minds are unbridled, they can indeed lead us into cycles of suffering and confusion. The positive news is that we possess the capacity for change. Through the consistent practice of mindfulness, meditation, and the principles of the Eightfold Path, we can harness our minds and liberate ourselves from suffering. By embracing mindfulness and letting go of attachment, we can begin to perceive the world and ourselves with newfound clarity, compassion, and serenity. While the mind may initially appear to be our greatest foe, with persistent effort, it can transform into our most reliable ally on the journey toward enlightenment. If you found this exploration insightful and wish to delve deeper into Buddhist wisdom and mindfulness practices, please subscribe and turn on notifications. By doing so, you'll be first to access our latest content aimed at helping you cultivate a more peaceful existence. Thank you for joining us, and may peace and wisdom guide your journey.